What's up, everybody? I'm Isaac, and welcome to another figure review. Today is something that has a little bit of a soft spot in my heart. Burning Gundam! Or as some of our Japanese friends might know it as Kami Gundam, or God Gundam to translate. Oh, my goodness, I absolutely love this thing. For most of those who don't know, I'm born 1991, so I've never seen most of the original Gundam until I was already a grown adult, and by the time Gundam Wing came out, I was 4. 1995, what do you expect? But something that really got me into Gundam and was the first Gundam show I actually ever saw as a kid was G frickin' Gundam. And if you don't know what G Gundam is, robots fighting frickin' tournament, buddy. That's what it is. It was freaking awesome. As far as Gundam shows, it definitely goes against the normal grain of the war drama and following a pilot as they're going through fighting whatever war they're dealing with. Sorry, I need to wet my whistle here. Thank you, Debbie. By the way, if you're curious about the hat and the shaker, that's our partner, Dubby. They make an awesome energy drink for everybody. So, hey, link in the description down below. Get yourself 10% off. They have the best tasting energy drink that I have ever had. So, bar none. And I've had a bunch. Working in retail on a cash register, you tend to need your energy, and these guys are, well, pretty dang good at giving me what I need. So, use code INF10 and get yourself 10% off. It also gives me a nice little 10% commission back. So it helps me actually fund and support the channel, which means that I can get more figures and buy more games to play for you guys. So if you want to check that out, please do me that small favor, and thank you ahead of time. Also, and if you're not really interested into spending some money, another great favor you can do for me is hit that subscribe button down below, give me a like if you enjoy this video, and leave a comment. Let me know how we're doing. So let's talk about this figure. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Master Grade Burning / Gundam. Hi, kitty. Behold, everyone. The cat has graced us. I just wanted to tear up his chair. He caught me and decided it was petting time. But let's actually look at this figure, shall we? Alright, so let's look at the figure, shall we? It looks well sculpted, and I actually painted all of this detail. His shoulder pads, everything. It comes with stickers, but we don't use stickers in this house. To hell with that. We paint. So let's take a look. You can see around, he is actually pretty nicely sculpted. I accidentally did clip a little bit of his frill at the top of the... Oh, crap. Yeah, his arm comes off here a little bit. No problem. We'll just stick that back in if I can. There we go. Alright, and his back is actually pretty good. So, I mean, it's pretty accurate to what he's supposed to look like. I do enjoy all the details that are on this figure. And I actually enjoyed putting them together, so it's pretty fun to actually take a look at them, paint them, do all that good stuff. So that's it for that part. As you can see, not a bad figure. I did, like I said before, I did accidentally nip a little bit of his top crown up, trying to nip it off the sprue, but other than that, it looks amazing. Looks like an awesome Gundam figure. Little side note, though, as you saw inside, the interior of his shoulders were empty. In the course of filming this, I was kind of questioning why that was. So I took a look at the sprues, because I was just had the thought there had to be something that should have been on there, and lo and behold, I found some parts. Now, personally, I'm not sure if I just skipped part of that or didn't see it in the instructions. So be aware that you might want to do some once overs with your kits and make sure you got all the bits where they're supposed to be. Overall, though, I absolutely love this figure. It is amazing in its design. And speaking of design and mechanics, it can do a lot of great poses. In fact, one of its main selling points on the box and in the store is that it is articulated for martial arts ability. I don't know how good that is. I'm not a martial artist. But I can show you how posable this thing is. So, looking at the posability of the figure, the head is on a ball joint. It can look up that far. It will look down that far. It can also swivel and turn, both left and right. The arm can extend all the way up and down. Double and bend at the elbow. Hand is on a ball joint, which allows it to swivel and turn and all that goodness. And it also allows it to be taken off for the other hands in the set. And the front bit across the arm can move forward for any kind of special effects, as well as the little claws are able to come up and go down. Now moving on, he has a slight ab crunch and turn. He can also do a back arc to an extent. Flip up his guard there, and he can do a pretty decent kick. Slight toe bend, by the way. As you can see, so he can kick pretty decently far back. Knee is double jointed, so he can really bend that leg all the way back and do some yoga. So, arm malfunction again. Hang on, give me a second. This sometimes happens. There's supposed to be a little pin inside the arm. I think my figure, the tiny little pin, kind of broke on that one side. But it doesn't really come off that often until you really start messing with it. And just trying to get this in here. It's usually pretty stiff to an extent, but it's not too bad. So even if the pin does kind of, little nib does break off, the arm will still stay in place pretty well and fairly decency. If I can get everything set together, check, make sure everything's in one piece. There we go. And to show you that toe bend in and out, side to side pivot, foot is on a ball joint. The little wings on his back do go up and down, so you can recreate those famous anime scenes. Now, unfortunately, this does not come with the rainbow ring around his stuff, so I can't really show you that. But we'll get to the accessories here in a minute. So another thing I did want to show you guys is that the actual pack on the back here can come out. Oh no. Crud. Hang on. I'll be right back here in a second. So I had to do some repair work because this thing has its boosters held together with tiny pins. It does bend down, so you couldn't put it into his back because it is his back. So plug him back in there. Not to worry, nothing that a bit of super glue can't fix. His boosters will just look a little wonky, that's all. So, but keep that in mind when you go to build this yourself. Those boosters are held by very tiny little pegs. So, oh, and before I forget, you can actually open this hatch to expose his shiny little heart thing for his superpower. Close that back up. Look at all these wonderful poses he can do. Nice little kick. Can't really tell you what that is. Nice little martial arts try of my attempt at a martial arts stance. And here are his accessories with multiple other hands to do additional different stances, including his infamous and famous Burning Finger. Which allows him to try and do this punch and block. His Kamehameha. Yes, the Burning Gundam can do that. He comes with two Bean Katanas, which are stored onto his side skirts there for weapon storage. And speaking of armament and weaponry, he also has a pair of Gatling cannons hidden under his clavicle, which you can open up to expose those cannons. Overall, a pretty fun and interesting figure if you like Gundam G. But I'm not quite done with my comments yet. Now let's address one of the big elephants of the room. As posable and as amazing as this figure is, why does it have two different names? Well, first off, when G Gundam actually came to the States, it needed to be naturalized. So, apparently, America just couldn't have something called the God Gundam. And so, effectively, they renamed it into the Burning Gundam. One of the few times that this actually worked. Burning Gundam is pretty interesting for a name. So, effectively, they did this not only for this Gundam, but pretty much every single Gundam in G Gundam. From Matador to Toro to many, many other names. Effectively, G Gundam was essentially the jelly donut incident in terms of Pokemon. Jelly donuts are delicious. My jelly donuts are my favorite. Yes, I just heard a cringe from far, far away from a certain noble, aka Lost Paws. And as much as I'd love to know him, and quite frankly, I don't. And yes, I'm dropping names like I'm a thirsty, looking for attention TikTok girl filming guys in the gym to try and get clout on the internet. But hey, it is an amazing figure, and I absolutely do love this thing. There's not a lot in terms of armament, mind you, but that's because it was a tournament fighter. It's not a war drama machine like the other machines in Gundam. Unlike Gundam Wing or any other iteration of the show, this was straight up just a punchy Dragon Ball with mecha. And quite literally that, especially considering that the Burning Gundam can literally Kamehameha. This Goku of Gundams is pretty much as best as you get. Not for to mention that its previous iterations, the Shining and Rising Gundam, literally went freaking Super Saiyan. So, I can't really say much more than that in terms of just how goofy this show was. And for some Gundam fans, it certainly wasn't their cup of tea, but for me, I absolutely loved it. But then again, it's what I grew up with. I hadn't actually seen the war drama style Gundam until much later. And even seeing the older stuff, I still love G Gundam. I still love the campiness, the fun of it, the very, interesting Gundam designs that came out of it. I wish there were more kits for this. But For right now, the only Master Grade kits that are available are the Master Gundam and Burning Gundam here. Now, if you guys decide that you want to get this model for yourself, this awesome figure, I'm going to leave a link down below to newtype.us where I got mine. It's reasonably priced, about 31 bucks. It's not super expensive. I enjoyed putting it together, even with the small problems that come with it, because it is an older style model kit, so the hands are made of rubber, which I didn't care about. To me, that's not a bad point. That's eh. Hands are hands. As long as they do their job, I don't give a damn. Uh, I mean, I guess there's some third-party aftermarket stuff that you can get where you can go find like a second version hands kit for this, but for me, I rather enjoy it. So it's an easy 9 out of 10, not just for the nostalgia, but because I actually enjoyed this kit, like I said. I will, however, digress. There are some flaws, like where I had to fix the boosters on the back of his plane because they're held with teeny little nubs that I have broken off on me. Um, there are some little minor complications in the building, like I had to glue one of his arms in. But I don't really see that as being a major issue for me personally. For some other people, perhaps a little bit more. But I still enjoyed the figure, and hopefully you will too. So thanks for everyone for watching, and oh, before I go, I do need to make a disclaimer. I am not sponsored by New Type, but I did buy all my Gundams there. And I figured I'd give them a shout out anyway, simply for the fact of, I mean, heck, if you can get me to spend $210 on plastic robots, you deserve it. See you next time, everyone.